welcome you inside for Prairie View A&M versus the Louisville Cardinals. It's time for men's basketball. Coming up next. ACC men's basketball is presented by your local Ford dealer. Getting ready for the third meeting all-time, first in 15 years, between the Prairie View A&M Panthers and Chris Mack's surging Louisville Cardinals. Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday evening. Glad you could join us for a bit of your night with my partner, Brian Oliver. My name is Eric Collins, and man, it has been a fantastic week to gorge on some turkey a couple of days ago and then gorge on some basketball. Sure is good to have basketball back in our lives again.
Obviously, with 2020 being so terrible for so many people, like you said, it's good to finally be able to tip off some basketball. We got a good one tonight.
Yeah, you mentioned a good one. We got Prairie View A&M, regular season champs a year ago out of the SWAC. They've already got a win this year. On this very court 2 days ago, they took down Evansville.
And they're an energetic bunch. They're going to try to press, try to go up-tempo. And they've got a lot of guys who can do a lot of different things. One of them, Juwan Daniels, had a good game the other night in their win. They need him to come out, lead that bunch, get them going, get some transition basket, and attack that rim.
All right, let's switch gears now and talk about the locals, the Louisville Cardinals. Who is your Hardy's star to watch?
And the guy that I'm excited to see is Khalik Jones, last year's Big South Player of the Year, already preseason All-American for a lot. Against Seton Hall the other night, he had a big game, 18 points, 11 rebounds, and 6 dimes. They need him come out and be aggressive, get everyone going, and look for his offense as well.
All right, you got me ready to go. Let's do it. Sunday night basketball. The weekend's not quite over just yet. We've got Prairie View A&M. We've got the Louisville Cardinals. Starting lineups and your tip-off coming up. Call or click today. Welcome back, everyone. Getting ready to play basketball. Prairie View A&M. The Panthers coming out of the SWAC local Toyota dealer presenting your starting lineups, and they're going to have Gambrell, Fate Williams, Paris, Juwan Daniels, and Linnell Henry as their starting five. We're going to talk a lot about Byron Smith throughout the course of the evening. Really interesting head coach for Prairie View A&M. And there is Chris Mack, now in his third season. Carlik Jones leading the way. He's been sensational. David Johnson. Slazinski's going to get the nod. D. Davis and Jalen Withers, redshirt freshman out of Cleveland Heights, Ohio. Let's do it. Third game on the season for both these clubs. Prairie View A&M 1-1, Louisville 2-0 with Brian Oliver. I'm Eric Collins. The tap is won by the home team, the Louisville Cardinals on offense. First shot of the game. Clean look. Shot is missed by Dre Davis, and it's Prairie View A&M basketball. All right, Brian, how about your keys to the game to get us started?
Yeah, for Prairie View, they've got to turn Louisville over. They're a team that's going to try to get them up and down and try to create some opportunities. And then for Louisville, it's simple. Attack the rim, points in the paint. I think it's one of the things that you've got Johnson and also Jones. Try to get to the basket and try to be super aggressive.
Those keys to the game brought to you by Ford. And a very patient first possession for Prairie View A&M. They won the regular season in the SWAC each of the last 2 seasons. Didn't get a chance to go to the NCAA tournament, of course, last year because there was no NCAA tournament. Both sides come up empty. First time with the basketball. Carlik Jones. And another patient possession. Shot clock dips below 8. Wide of the mark, David Johnson.
2 good defensive possessions by Prairie View. You want to keep Louisville out on the perimeter. Again, that last time not being able to get what they want.
Fate Williams up high, running the point. Williams working against Slazinski, now switched off on. Gambrell up and in. Jeremiah Gambrell, game's first points. It's a 3-ball.
And that's set up by being able to run that double high pick and roll. You see Gambrell being over there to catch his man on the help side.
Quinn Slazinski left open. A little bit short. And Prairie View A&M can't control the rebound. Byron Smith, now in his 5th year. He has had success after success after success. Was a great player himself. Played for the Houston Cougars back in the day. Was actually an assistant at his alma mater, Houston, underneath Clyde Drexler for a while. Also had a head coaching job at one point in his life as the leader of the Harlem Globetrotters.
Yeah, we talked about that in pregame. Thought that was probably a super cool job to have. And you can say that a lot of teams take on the identity of the coach, and they play super aggressive and animated.
First bucket of the day for Louisville. It is the redshirt freshman Jalen Withers.
Good start for Withers. You know, he's a big that you can give him an opportunity outside to put the ball on the floor. Good finish around the basket.
Panthers of Prairie View A&M. Won on this floor a couple of days ago against Evansville, so they've got a little bit of confidence working. Hanging in the air off the window and in. That's Fate Williams. Nice body control.
And that's one of the things that Prairie View needs. They need Fate Williams to be able to come out and have a good game. And that loss earlier, he had 18 points, but the last game and actually the win they had did do real well. They need him to come up big and be aggressive.
Loose on the floor, ripped away. Panthers have basketball. Prairie View A&M picked to finish 3rd in the SWAC this year. Linnell Henry got bumped, and the ball stays with A&M. Shot clock doesn't reset, but they don't mind at all. It's a 3-pointer. Jeremiah Gambrell.
And Eric, that was a great offense possession for Prairie View. You want to go ahead and move Louisville from side to side, get the shot that they want, and they were able to get that offensive rebound and then a putback, actually a 3-pointer.
First shot of the game missed by Carly Jones. So Prairie View A&M the lead in the ball. Last time these two schools played against each other was 2005. Quick trigger. Loose ball run down by Withers. Here comes Louisville. Slazinski. Corner 3. Davis the misfire. And Slazinski over the back trying to get the offensive rebound.
One of the things that we have not talked about is Louisville early in the season. They've got some major injuries and guys not playing. And so Chris Mack trying to find a rotation, trying to build some chemistry right now. And Cardinals off to a slow start.
First substitutions of the game, both Panthers. Darrell Roberts comes into the game along with Gerardo Briscoe. Gambrell's already made a couple of threes. Too quick for his own good. And we've got a timeout. Chance for everyone to catch their breath. So far, so good for Prairie View A&M. They've got a lead, 8-2, our score.
Devices free and save up to 50% during CPI's Black Friday sale.
Good start for the visitors. Prairie View A&M, the Panthers leading Louisville by a score of 8-2. If you're wondering about Prairie View A&M, located in Prairie View, Texas, which is about a half hour outside of Houston, northwest of Houston, they're in the SWAC, Southwestern Athletic Conference. Historically black universities and colleges down there, HBCU. They've been very good last couple of years. They've won the regular season in the SWAC each of the last 2 seasons. And they've got some esteemed alums. Mr. T went to Prairie View A&M. For you folks too young, look it up. Look back in the A-team in the 80s. And Zelmo Beatty, that's some serious basketball bona fides. Zelmo Beatty in the 60s was an NBA All-Star and is in the Pro Basketball Hall of Fame.
Look at you. You dug deep into your bag on that one, didn't you?
Mr. T and Zelmo Beatty. I'm getting better than that. Prairie View A&M. Texas' second oldest public school in the state of Texas. Active defense played by the Panthers. Ball stays with Louisville, 12 seconds to shoot.
And one of the things that's helped Prairie View off to this lead is they've been able to keep the Louisville guards in front of them and not allow Louisville to get to the basket. The defense not allowing them to have any type of comfort earlier on their offense.
Louisville still playing with their starting 5, and they seem a bit discombobulated. Shot clock actually reset. And the ball still poked away. No harm, no foul. Prairie View A&M has the basketball. They lead by 6. Fate Williams sets the offense. Wayne Cox touching it for the first time. Just came in off the bench. Now back to Williams. Shot clock down to 7. Fate Williams had his shot blocked. Good closeout, David Johnson. 5 seconds to shoot for the Panthers.
And so far, Prairie View's been able to get their hands on a lot of the balls. The guy that I'm looking at for Louisville that needs to step up a little bit is David Johnson. We talked about Khalid Jones and what he's done these first 2 games. Johnson's a guy coming into the season that there are a lot of expectations for him to have a breakout year. Looking for him to be a little bit more aggressive on the offensive end.
Shot clock's at 1. He's having a fire. Hoping a prayer. Louisville has the ball back. They've been stuck on 2 points. Just 1 made shot in 5 minutes and change. Carlik Jones hesitates, gets inside Withers. Jalen Withers has all 4 of Louisville's points.
And that's one of the things we'll see by Carlik Jones' game is that he's really heady and knows when to get into the lane. Nice little dump off to Withers to get him going.
First year in the program and named the captain, Carlik Jones. That says something. Williams hands it off. Roberts now picks up the dribble. Skip pass. Good look. Bottom of the well. Good shooting early on. Juwan Daniels with 3 ball.
A good offense by Prairie View. One of the things you'll see is that they're going to move Louisville from east to west, take their time, be able to spread them out. He said a nice cross-court pass.
So far through a couple of games, 2 13-point scores for Prairie View A&M. Just saw Juwan Daniels averaging 13.5. Darrell Roberts averages 13.
Again, one of these things, too, Eric, is about Prairie View is that with how they are so aggressive in nature on both ends of the foot. They're going to rotate a lot of guys in, make sure they maintain that energy.
Dre Davis leads the game. He's replaced by J.J. Traynor. Slazinski, high arcing jumper along the baseline.
Slazinski's one of those guys that can knock down a 3. Good pump fake, be able to get that mid-range jumper. He's another guy that you think for Chris Mack should be able to give them some offense tonight.
Slazinski obviously knows about Prairie View A&M. He is from Houston. So the Prairie View A&M campus not too far away from Slazinski's stomping grounds. Shot is short, and here comes Louisville. Jones controlling the pace, almost lost the basketball. Slazinski draws contact and will go to the free throw line.
Nifty pass by Carlik Jones, get into the teeth of the defense. And again, that's what you'll see. We talked about the fact that he can score, but he's going to get into the paint and look to try to get his guys going. Again, he understands that he can go get his offense whenever he wants. That last time, nice little drop off to Slazinski.
Slazinski a non-factor a year ago, just trying to figure out the college game. Had a grand total of 15 points in 15 games last year. He has already surpassed that total through the first 2 games of the season. Welcome to your sophomore year, Quinn Slazinski. Aiden Iguanen has checked into the game for Louisville for the first time. Nice two-handed block by Slazinski. Down by 3, Cardinals in a hurry. Jones has it lip out. Reverse layup, no, but the follow-up is up and in. Gerarda Briscoe, his first basket.
Prairie View doing a good job of being able to deny Louisville on one end. And again, one of the things we highlight is for them is that they want to get stops and get out in transition. Doing a good job of being able to get to the basket and create some opportunities for them on the other end.
Slazinski. One and done. Been a cleanly played first half. Haven't been a lot of whistles. 8 minutes into it. Prairie View A&M leading by 5. Roberts, contact, and waved it off. It actually made the top of the stanchion, but it will be free throws coming up for Prairie View A&M when we come back.
You see Prairie View being able to be active hands on one end and going in attacking the rim off to a 5-point lead.
deferral.
Don't miss out. Come in today.
Toyota, let's go places.
Welcome back. Well, Louisville down early to Prairie View, but trying to climb their way back into it. And one of the ways they've been getting is the play from Carlik Jones. Again, we highlighted his playmaking ability, being able to get down and set up some of his teammates. One of the things that Louisville is looking for is that he's going to look for his offense, but earlier on, trying to get his teammates involved, get them a nice little flow. And Eric, right now, again, Louisville trying to get back in it, but Carlik Jones has been able to set his teammates up real nice.
Just curious, Brian, you were a scorer during your days back at Georgia Tech. If you had gone 8 minutes into a game without making a shot, is that something that you would have noticed?
Absolutely,
Really?
especially seeing that I was a guy that was always trying to be super aggressive. But I think one of the things for Louisville is that, again, with so many guys that they have that are out right now, trying to find some type of cohesiveness, trying to find some camaraderie and chemistry. Again, one of the guys we talked about that I thought that is missing is David Johnson. Last year, you think with that group that they had, he was the guy that came off the bench and supplied a lot of energy, a lot of baskets. Where is he now? You know, we talked about Carlik Jones, but where is David Johnson right now? He's a guy that I think that could dominate this game on both ends of the floor.
So we're going to have free throws for Prairie View A&M. We had a shooting foul just right before that break. So at the line, Darrell Roberts, junior from Dallas, shooting a pair.
Number 4, Darrell Roberts is shooting 2.
Eric, one of the things that we've seen earlier on this season, how many teams have been upset by teams that are not as known to the general public. And I think that one of the things, too, you have to keep in mind is that the teams that can come out has got really good point guard play, that they are really good and efficient at running their offense, are able to limit the other team and what they're doing, puts them in a position where we saw Virginia go down to San Francisco the other day. We saw Virginia Tech take down Villanova. This has the makings of one of those games because Prairie View has done a good job. As you see, a nice little another dime.
Yehan with his first field goal.
And Carlik Jones, again, the guy that's getting everybody into their offense.
I think one of the things that's a factor early in the season, and with COVID-19 still being a factor, is visiting teams shooting free throws at probably a better clip because it's like shooting free throws in the library.
Well, and
there's no one distracting you.
And that's one of the things you wonder. How much did you see Johnson come up with that steal? One of the things you wonder is not having the crowds. You see Louisville has a scattered bunch here. How much would that play into the psyche for the home team, and how much of an advantage would it be for the visiting team?
Yeah, we saw St. Francis defeat Pitt at Pitt a couple of days ago. They had lost 29 consecutive against the Pitt Panthers, but somehow won convincingly at Pitt. Linnell Henry back into the game for Prairie View A&M. Briscoe sits down. Nice inbounds play, results in a bucket. David Johnson maybe starting to take over a little bit.
When you saw Carlik Jones caught the defender from Prairie View sleeping right now, and good eye-to-eye coordination there, being able to get David Johnson an easy basket.
Very aggressive closeout. Aiden Yehan. Yehan picks up his first personal foul. Two-point game. Wow, using the left hand. Fate Williams.
And that was set up by Williams coming off that ball screen. No one showed, and he just attacked the rim. Nice finish with the opposite hand, too.
Jones lost it. A lot of dribbling. Gets in the paint. Finishes.
Well, see, that's one of the things that I'm talking about his game. You saw two defenders come out and try to trap him. He didn't speed up. He was able to do a nifty little move, still cross over and get in there for the finish. Again, it's so many things, and then yet almost steal by Carlik Jones.
Cox picks up the loose ball. St. Williams, shot clock below 10. Williams had it blocked, saved by Jones. Wonderful body control. And finally stepping out of bounds with the heel.
How about that defensive play by Davis, being able to stay in front of his man. You saw Fate Williams pushed him out to an awkward shot, being able to stay in front of him. For Chris Mack, one of the things he's going to demand is that you play hard, you play defense. Great play by Dre Davis.
Gabe Witznitzer comes into the game, freshman from South Carolina. Hasn't played a lot, just 3 minutes so far, 2 games into the season, but As we mentioned, Chris Mack has got a mix and match. He only has 8 scholarship players, and of those 8 scholarship players, they're all freshmen or sophomores, with the exception of Carlik Jones, who's in his first year with the program.
Well, and you see, I mean, player development here. Dino Gaudio and the rest of that Louisville staff has done a good job over the years since Chris Mack has been here in developing their talent.
Clean look. Williams in and out. Jones again leading the attack. Chance to tie or take the lead. Catch and shoot Johnson. Prairie View A&M lost against Arkansas. Little Rock defeated Evansville. And on the end line was Dwayne Cox.
Dwayne Cox a little too excited, think he's going to get an open 3. You got to make sure that you've got your foot on, because those are one of those turnovers that if you're a team on the road, you can't afford those. You see the frustration from Byron Smith. He's giving them an earful.
Wisnitzer sets the screen for Johnson. In and out dribble. Jones lost it. Wisnitzer picks it up. Good footwork, and it results in a foul.
Good hands by Wisnitzer, being able to stay there. But again, going back to Carlik Jones, I love the fact that he doesn't give up his dribble. You know, he's a guy that stays active with it. And you know, Louisville's going to run a lot of ball screens. You see the number. You see Wisnitzer, another one of those bigs that Chris Mack and his group is high on.
First collegiate free throw for Wisnitzer. See what he's got. That's a good looking stroke.
That's another donation from our Cardinals charity strike partner.
For Prairie View A&M, Juwan Daniels comes back into the game. He replaces Dwayne Cox. So a little bit more size inserted into the game. 1 out of 2 for the freshman. So Prairie View A&M continues to play from ahead. Next whistle, Quinn Slazinski will come back into the game. From the elbow. And Wisnitzer is fouled by Henry.
Well, on Prairie View, 0 L. Henry, that's his first, team 4th. Cardinal basketball.
Neither side anywhere close to foul trouble. We've had a combined 7 team fouls.
In for the Panthers, number 11, Dwayne Cox.
So Slazinski back into the game for Louisville. Trainer, Johnson, Wisnitzer, Slazinski, and Dre Davis, the 5 for Chris Mack. Slazinski just checked back into the game a moment ago. Ball finds his hands, and he comes up empty, and we've got a tie-up.
Prairie View doing a good job of being able to limit Louisville to a 1 and done that last time. So with Wisnitzer come up with a high ball screen, giving David Johnson an opportunity to get Slazinski wide open jumper. And if you're Chris Mack, that's a great possession. You know, it's a make or miss lead, but you would give him that shot because that's one of those that he can hit normally.
I said that was a tied possession, but it wasn't. It was actually a foul called on J.J. Trainer. Deep 3.
If you're Byron Smith, you're not going to win with guys throwing shots up like that. I mean, you can get that in a regular possession, but again, how about the active hands again? Prairie View come up with yet another steal.
Gambrell hit a couple of threes earlier in this first half. Now gives it back up. Fate Williams sets the offense. Staying out in the perimeter. Nice dime. Beautiful pass. Fate Williams.
And that was set up by Williams, understanding he's got a bigger, slower Wisnitzer on him, being able to break him down, force the defense to come over, and a nice little drop-off. Good play, heady play by Williams.
And Slazinski has his pocket picked. Williams out in front, and he missed the layup. Good late contest, not giving up on the play. was Dre Davis.
Prairie View being able to do a good job. You see the drop off allowed them to be able to get to the basket. Prairie View still looking good. Hold on to a lead.
Off-season report airs all month on Fox Sports South.
Welcome back to the KFC Yum Center, where the Cardinals are down by 3. One of the guys that they're super high on is Jalen Withers. And Withers is one of those guys, one of the freshmen that's been really big, and and they're looking for a lot. And there's a guy that played at Cleveland Heights High School. And it seems like someone in our group here has some connection there. And Jalen's dad, Carl Curtis, was a baller himself coming out of Charlotte. And Eric, you kind of got a little link to these guys or somehow?
Well, I live in Charlotte right now, and Curtis Withers, I remember him playing. He was a stone cold killer. He played in Conference USA back when Louisville was in Conference USA. So the Cardinals know all about Curtis. And Curtis Withers, of course, 3 times was all Conference USA. And then Jalen Withers actually spent a couple of years in high school in Charlotte, but he finished his senior year in Cleveland Heights. That was the school that I went to. He wore the black and gold just like I did. And Jair Alexander, his cousin, so obviously fantastic athletic chops in that Withers clan.
I mean, how about that for an athletic background? And you see right now, Jalen off to 4 points, 2-2. And again, Chris Mack is high on him because of his skill set inside and out. So we saw him earlier be able to finish around the rim, and then he's a big that can put the ball on the floor and finish as well.
And he was a big-time recruit, and to get him down here and to have him agree to sit out a year last year just to get stronger and get ready for ACC play, I think it says a lot about the coachability of Jalen Withers and his commitment.
When you think about the guys that he had to play behind, Stephen Enoch, and then injured Malik Williams.
Up and down, David Johnson, and we're tied.
That's a good sign right there. David Johnson being able to, Louisville attacking that zone, being able to get into the teeth of wide open jump shot by David Johnson.
Dwayne Cox working on Slozinski. Gives it up Williams. Trying to direct traffic. Shot clock is down to 7. Cox along the baseline. Bad pass picked off. Davis the other way. Offensive rebound. Stick back, score the goal. Dre Davis stepping up his game.
How about that strong move by Dre Davis being able to come down on the penetration? You see, trying to go up and then realizing that he's the first one off the ground. Fight strong to be able to go for the and one. Dre Davis, he's another one of those guys in that group that they're really excited about. As a freshman, 6'5", 210.
That body works in the ACC.
Absolutely. He's super. One of the things that Chris Mack liked him too is Dwayne Sutton. That's one of the guys that they had that did was do everything for them last year on that Cardinal team that did so much.
3-point play. Dre Davis, largest lead of the game for Louisville, up 3. They've been playing from behind this entire half. Under 6 minutes to play. Before halftime, it'll stay with the Panthers. 22 seconds to shoot. All right, maybe the final frontier is getting Carlik Jones going. He's been quiet here in the first half.
I think it's one of the things for Louisville to allow them to be able to recapture this league. Seems like they've picked up their intensity a little bit more on the defensive end, being able to limit the penetration by Prairie View.
Aiden Igyahen back into the game. Gambrell, that's his 3rd 3-pointer of the half.
Nice read by Fate Williams. Realize when they come off that double pick and roll, forced Louisville to have to help. They expected him to go to the top of the key. That time getting Gambrell for a wide open 3.
He's got 9 of the 20 for Prairie View A&M. Slozinski slices inside. Got his own miss. Shot clock didn't reset. Withers, strength, and one. Chance for a 3-point play.
How about that play by Slozinski, being able to realize that when they double, that they attack the rim, could come up with that shot. You see penetration. Not giving up on the play, coming up with the offensive rebound, being able to dump it off. Nice little finish. Those are the little small plays, the 50-50 plays that Louisville has been missing earlier in this game, being able to come up big. Withers being able to come up with another basket with opportunity to go for another and one.
He's really filled up. 6'8", 230 pounds.
Cleveland Heights in the house.
Best to come out of Cleveland Heights High School since J.R. Bremer, a little lefty from St. Bonaventure who spent some time in the NBA. 3-point game. Louisville back on top. Under 5 minutes to play, first half. Gambrell. That would have been his 4th first half three. Jones. I like his game.
How about the hesitation? You see him come around and turn the corner, hesitated just to freeze the defense a little bit, and just with that, you see just a little bit of a hezzy and just be able to finish with their left hand.
Some guys play with only one speed. He seems to play with about 7 or 8 different speeds.
And he's never letting the defense speed him up.
Ball's loose. It will stay with Prairie View A&M. Tyrell Roberts. Effort to get it up to the rim. Louisville can't clear the rebound. 20 seconds to shoot. Prairie View A&M 19 wins last year. 19-13, went 14-4 in conference play. Ball stops with Roberts. Backdoor cut, Gambrell. Hangs and hits. He's now in double figures. Chance for an old-fashioned three-point play.
And Eric, one of the things that Prairie View's been able to do, again, we talked about the fact that they spread Louisville out. You see penetration by wings, Gambrell being able to fight through the ball and the whereabouts just to finish. You see him flexing a little bit there. Again, nice penetration by Fate Williams, dump off to Gambrell. Gambrell not giving up on it, going to the line to be able to finish up. And the guy that stood out for me today is Gambrell. How about, he's been able to knock down some threes, been really active.
He's comfortable here in these environments. He is from Houston, Texas, but he spent a year playing at Western Kentucky. So he's familiar with the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Louisville up by 3. Johnson backs it up against Gambrell. Now gets a screen. Creative dribble. Sets up Withers. Bottom of the well.
How nifty was that play by Johnson, being able to go behind his back. And again, setting up Withers again.
Largest lead of the night. 6-point bulge for Louisville. Closing in on the 3-minute mark of our first half. And do we have a travel? Yes, we do. A little too quick was Juwan Daniels.
We talked earlier, Cardinals being able to get back into it. And so how about that nifty play by Johnson? Got Cleveland Heights in the house. Knock it down to 3. Louisville coming up big.
Open.
Coming up at halftime, don't go anywhere. It has been an eventful last year here in Louisville. And the Louisville men's basketball team participating, doing some good. And how about the Louisville Cardinal women? Jeff Walton's bunch here in the house that Angel McCautry built. We'll have highlights and an update on their performance today. They played against Eastern Kentucky. 3:15 remaining in our first half. Louisville Cardinals playing from behind for the majority of this half, but Chris Mack's team starting to flex a little bit of muscle. They lead by 6. Leading scorer Jalen Withers has not missed the shot. He has got 10 points. Leading scorer for Prairie View A&M is Jeremiah Gambrell. He's got 11.
Yeah, Louisville seems like they found their offensive continuity. And at the beginning, they stretched, you see, out-of-bounds play. Nice little backdoor play to J.J. Traynor.
J.J. Traynor didn't hesitate at all. He's got a chance for a 3-point play.
Nice play out of the timeout for Chris Mack. Again, cross screen, caught the defense sleeping. Nice finish by a long, athletic J.J. Traynor.
They needed every bit that J.J. Traynor offered a couple of days ago in that win versus Seton Hall. He was nails down the stretch.
In the game for Prairie View, number 0.
Just a 1-point win for Louisville over Seton Hall back on Friday.
He's another one of those freshmen that Chris Mack and his coaching staff are high on because he's long, athletic, can finish around the rim. need to throw on a little bit more pounds, but they want to make sure that he doesn't allow the physicality of the game to off-throw him.
You say he can do some things around the rim. First game of the year against Evansville, 5 for 5 shooting with 3 dunks. Pretty cool. Louisville now leading by 9. Largest lead of the ball game. Williams over to Cox. Fakes the handoff. And Cox is fouled. That'll be a block on Withers.
Foul is called on Louisville's number 24, Jalen Withers. That's his first 6th-team foul.
That's the 16th foul on Louisville, so the next foul will be bonus free throws for Prairie View A&M. Dwayne Cox, Ripley, Mississippi. Senior guard.
Number 14, Jerome Briscoe, back in for the Panthers, replacing Henry.
Briscoe comes back in, replacing Linnell Henry. Miscommunication. Ball stays with Prairie View A&M.
And that's one of those things. I'm J.J. Trainer, and I look over at Carly Jones and say, "Bro, what are you doing? You're messing with my rebounding stats." that's just a failure of communication there. I know big guys, they hate for guards to get down there and mess with their rebounding stats.
Jeremiah Gambrell back into the game. He'll trigger the inbounds, but before he can, we've got a whistle and a foul.
Foul's called on the Cardinals, number 12.
It's on J.J. Trainer. And because of the bonus, we'll have free throws.
And that's got to be frustrating for Chris Mack. Again, you throw something out, and then you give them an opportunity to go to the line.
Replacing Trainer.
Slazinski back into the game, replacing the freshman Trainer, who's going to have a conversation with Chris Mack. This is a 1-and-1. Now let's hear from our sponsor, Works.
Works Landroid robotic lawnmower. Enter to win at winalandroid.com. The future of lawn care is here.
One more coming. Roberts makes a pair. Louisville's been a bit sloppy for the last 30 seconds. Defensively, inbounding the basketball, breaking the press. Yeah, but that cleans up a lot of mess. Jalen Withers at the rim. Chance for another three-point play.
Where you saw Prairie View extend their pressure, one of the best ways to beat a press is be aggressive with it. And you see being able to pass the ball and get it to the middle. And you see as soon as Johnson got it up, a lob to Withers. Big fella going up, having a great first half. See again, nice lob, the finish for the and one. Jalen Withers
hasn't missed a shot from the field. He is 5 for 5.
Look at him showing out today for realize that Cleveland's in the house. Eric Collins is in there.
8-point ball game. 2.5 remaining, first half. And dribbling into a crowd, Peyton Williams lost it, rips it back. And this is a held ball. Possession arrow favors the Panthers. Virtually every time there's a stoppage, Byron Smith is substituting players in and out.
Well, and that's what they do. They're going to play at least 10, and I think that to make sure that they're able to maintain a level of energy on both ends of the floor. You see, Louisville has been a little bit more diligent in their defense. Things are not coming as easily for Prairie View as they did early in the first half.
Elbow extended. Williams missed everything. Ball stays with Prairie View A&M, but the shot clock expires.
Cardinal basketball.
Byron Smith thought his player was fouled.
Briscoe back in for the Panthers, replacing Henry.
So Slazinski will cross court and inbound the basketball. More than likely, he'll throw it over to Carly Jones. averaging 18 points so far through the first 2 games. Jones has only got 4 so far tonight.
Well, it's his floor game, though. I remember that when they struggled, he got them back into the game by being able to penetrate and find his teammates and allow them to get some kind of a rhythm.
Sluzinski. And he's fouled while shooting a 3-pointer. Darrell Roberts, the junior, should have known better. Sluzinski will have 3 free throws.
And if you're Byron Smith, you cannot be pleased with that because that's basketball 1-on-1, that you don't foul the 3-point shooter. But how about the penetration and then the setup by David Johnson? He waited for the defense to converge in, being able to be a willing passer and get it out to Sluzinski for that 3.
Louisville's basically playing every other day. They're going to have tomorrow off, and then they'll take on Western Kentucky on Tuesday. It's going to be a tough one. Western Kentucky, preseason favorite in Conference USA. I like the fact that Louisville's challenging themselves. Already game against Evansville out of the Missouri Valley. Seton Hall, obviously a very good team out of the Big East. Now Prairie View A&M, and then Western Kentucky right out of the chute. Lead is 11 for Louisville. Number 11 has the ball for Prairie View A&M, Dwayne Cox. Gambrell. That's his 4th 3-pointer. This kid can shoot it.
One of the things that has allowed him to get that shot off, though, is that Prairie View's doing a good job being able to move Louisville left to right. And again, Fate Williams doing a good job of being able to get them offset, get them off where the defender has to help. How about Gambrell and how he's been able to shoot and provide that offense for Prairie View?
He's got 14 of the 29 for the Panthers. Johnson, his pass intercepted, picked up by Williams. Panthers in a hurry. Roberts, the step through. Offensive rebound, Henry.
Just when it seemed that Louisville's about to open this thing up, Prairie View comes back with a solid 5 points to cut that lead down to 6.
Linnell Henry's a Chicago kid from Morgan Park High School. Louisville fans, if that sounds familiar, that's where Wayne Blackshear went. Carlik Jones sneaks inside and scores the bucket.
We talked about Carlik Jones looking for his offense. That last play is a nice little penetration. He used the rim to finish off. Cardinals got to have a good stop here.
Final 20 seconds of our first half. Difference game clock and shot clock is 3 seconds. Williams really nifty with the basketball. Left the wrong man open. Wow. Louisville catches a break as that shot is missed. And now still 5 seconds to play with. And we've got a timeout on the floor. It is Withers who has been magnificent. A bit shaken up.
See collision there. Seems like he took one in the chops from Fate Williams.
Those kids from Cleveland Heights are tougher than woodpecker lips. That's not going to hold him down.
Tougher than woodpecker lips. Okay.
You know it. All right, Louisville, 8-point lead. 5 seconds remaining first half. Johnson. Score the goal. Wonderful clock management. David Johnson, the sophomore, gives Louisville a 10-point lead as they jog confidently into the locker room. David Johnson figuring things out over the last 10 minutes, and Louisville comfortably ahead after 20 minutes. 41-31 our score. Louisville on top of Prairie View A&M.
On Fox Sports South, presented by your local Ford dealer.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome to the Toyota Halftime Report. It is brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. And so far, so good for the Louisville Cardinals. They have a 10-point lead over Prairie View A&M. With my partner, Brian Oliver, I am Eric Collins, and we have already seen basketball, a completed game played here in Louisville, Kentucky. On the women's side, congratulations to Jeff Waltz's team. They picked up a W. How about Dana Evans doing it from distance, Brian?
But yeah, she knocked down 4 threes. Number 5, the Lady Cardinals doing their thing. Big game from them. And again, She did a good job being able to come out early, knock down those shots. Again, 4 of 9 from behind the arc. But the Lady Cardinals putting a big 101 points on Eastern Kentucky.
Somewhere, Angel McCautry smiling. All right, let's talk about Jeremiah Gambrell. He was a big bright spot for Prairie View A&M.
And I thought that he was the reason they were able to get off to a good start. You know, you saw the big threes that he was able to knock down. You know, good offense for them. I thought that he came out, was super aggressive, gave them an opportunity to get the lead earlier. But it was the hot shooting from him that got them off to a hot start and an early lead in the first half.
Now, the best thing about the Louisville Cardinals was my guy, Jalen Withers, didn't miss a shot from the field.
I thought that he started out well. He took his time and allowed the game to come to him, and then he's a recipient of a lot of passes by Carlik Jones. And then, you know, he's a guy that can stretch the defense, being able to knock down the three. I thought he had a really good game finishing around the rim, too. And for Louisville to be able to catch that lead, it was big on him having a big first half.
Take a look at our game summary brought to you by Reese's Peanut Butter Cup.
Yeah, I think one of the things for the Cardinals that stood out, points in its paint, 24. And again, for Prairie View, 5 3-pointers earlier. It was a game that was back and forth. Again, we talked about Prairie View starting off early, Louisville going to the half with the lead.
Well, so many people probably tuning into this game because they've already heard the legend of Carlik Jones. He's been good. He hasn't been great, which is a bit of a surprise because he was great in the first 2 games this year that Louisville played.
Well, again, I think that for him, you know, he picked his spots. Earlier on, they were struggling. I thought he played, you know, played the floor general earlier, being able to get everyone involved. He picked his spots every now and then to be able to score to the basket. Again, with Withers getting to the game, I think he and then David Johnson toward the end of the first half, I thought he picked his offense up and allowed him to be able to get that lead.
All right, we're going to take a timeout. We're going to show you how Brian Oliver used to play. Wasn't the fastest guy on the floor, but he had that hesitation dribble, the in and out. He could get to the rack whenever he wanted to. We'll be playing basketball when we return. ACC Men's Basketball is brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Visit your local Toyota dealer today. The Works Landroid Robotic Lawnmower, available at mylandroid.com. Welcome back, everyone. The Derby City, Louisville, Kentucky. 10-point stiff arm. Louisville Cardinals on top of the Panthers of Prairie View A&M out of the SWAC. Getting ready to start our second half. Louisville under the watchful eye of Chris Mack, now in his 3rd year here in Louisville. And when you talk to the big shots, the people who get paid to think deep thoughts, they say that Louisville is going to be the 5th place finisher when it's all said and done. The ACC preseason media poll, Louisville finishing behind Virginia, Duke, Florida State, and North Carolina. Your thoughts on that, Brian?
Well, I think that fits in there. And one of the things we haven't talked about is the absence of Malik Williams. He's going to be out for at least another 2.5 to 3 months. And then Sam Williamson, he's another guy that they're really high on. So when you look at what they have out here today, and then you add those 2 guys, and then you add San Francisco transfer Charles Minlin onto the group, that's right there where they can jockey and compete with the Carolina, Florida State, Duke, and the Virginias of the world.
Yeah, right now, only 8 scholarship players, and 7 of those scholarship players are either freshmen or sophomores, and the only upperclassman on scholarship is new to the program, and Carlik Jones.
And I think one of the things you've seen, that the ACC has gotten younger, and as it's gotten younger, there's still a lot of talent that's come into the league this year, and as you see the league unfold, you're going to see a lot of good games.
Yeah, this is just going to be difficult, and already just an awkward year. Now dealing with these significant injuries. Malik Williams and Charles Minlin out, haven't played at all. Josh Nickelberry, who they think very highly of, and Samuel Williamson actually played the first 2 games. This is his first game not available. They don't know how long he is going to be out for. Those are 4 big-time names out of the mix.
But if there's any bright side to that, then it gives the other guys a lot of opportunity to grow and grow fast by getting a lot of tick on the floor.
And so far, so good. Louisville 2-0. Haven't actually lost a November game here at home in a while. They've won 57 straight November games in the city of Louisville. Carlik Jones is fouled, got hacked on the wrist. I think he was attempting a pass, so it should be side out of bounds.
Eric, I've always thought coming into the second half, the first 5 minutes was always important, especially even as a player. If you're on a team that you're down, you got to come out with more energy. For Prairie View, you got to come in and get some steps. You see a nice little duck in And a big steal by David Johnson at 6'5", being able to get a smaller guard on his hips.
So 2 fouls called against Prairie View A&M in the first 29 seconds of our second half. Withers looking for the ball down low. Instead, it's Carly Jones calls his own number. Up and through. Jones now with 8 points.
You remember in our halftime, you asked about Carly Jones, where was he? And I think that, again, looked like he was able to get his guys into the game. You may see him start to pick up his offense a little bit more and create for himself.
Corner 3. Darrell Roberts keeps the Panthers within shouting distance.
The game for Fate Williams. I saw, we talked about him as a guy that they look to score. He's done some really good jobs of being able to break down the Louisville guards and get into the lane and set up his guys. That last time, being able to get another 3.
That's now 6 assists for Williams. Jones. Look away pass. Withers capitalizes.
But that's basketball 101 for you point guards out there. You saw that Carly Jones was able to take his time, get there, wait for the defense to commit that last bit, being able to dump it off to Withers right under the basket.
6 for 6 shooting the basketball is Withers. Well, you just saw Fate Williams with an assist. This time he calls his own number and makes the mid-ranger.
Yeah, 2 good plays by Fate Williams. One instead of one of his teammates, and the other being able to look out for his own offense.
Fate Williams from Dickinson, Texas. That's the hometown of former Heisman Trophy Award winner Andre Ware, the old great Houston Cougar quarterback. And a whistle blows, stopping play. And it's a foul called against Louisville.
I am convinced that after the end of the basketball season, you and I are going to make some money on Jeopardy. I'm gonna just bankroll you on Jeopardy, man, and we're just going to go for it.
I like hometowns, man. I think hometowns are cool. Everyone's got one. You're from Smyrna, Georgia. I'll never forget that. I've known that for 40 years. Saw that on a McDonald's All-American list way back when, and I've never forgotten it. 9-point game. Panthers. Off-balance shot. Roberts, the one and done. And a foul called on Prairie View A&M on the run back.
A good contested jump shot by Dre Davis. One of the things that, Chris Mack is going to impress upon his guys is being able to contain the dribbler, force him to an uncomfortable shot. That last time, Dre Davis doing a good job of being able to get his man to a point and make him shoot a contested jump shot. I almost slipped up and called him Craig Mack.
Just getting started. 2.5 minutes into our second half. Jones sitting on 8 points. Sets up the offense. This is David Johnson on the wing. Flips it down. Withers still has missed his shot. He's fouled. Chance for a 3-point play.
How about the recognition by Jalen Withers? A lot of times you'll see big guys come in and set that screen. Last time slipping, being able to finish the and one. Great pass by David Johnson. And look at the and one. And that's your redshirt freshman right there. Being able to play, and he's got guard-like skills. Being able to have him out there on the perimeter and give him an opportunity to read it. Jalen Withers having a big night for Chris Mack's team.
So much fun to watch. Now has 17 points. Just his 3rd college game. Largest lead of the game for Louisville. Missing everything. Louisville the other way. Johnson, skip pass, Slazinski. Andre Davis knocked to the floor. It'll be a Panther foul.
Well, on Prairie View's number 4, Darrell Roberts, that's his 3rd, team 5th.
So the fouls are coming fast and furious for Prairie View A&M. They've committed 5 team fouls. We haven't even gotten to the first media timeout, so we played just over 3 minutes here in the second half. Roberts pokes it out of bounds. Carlik Jones, transfer from Radford, coming home. He's from Cincinnati, not too far away. Other side of the river. Slazinski. Davis. Ray Davis. Freshman hits the three.
You know what set that play up? You got to honor Slazinski being a three-point threat. That last time defender came out, he was able to get into the teeth of the defense, forced the help, then get it over to Dre Davis, who sat there, feet set, and knocked down that three. Good offensive possession by Louisville.
Prairie View A&M's in trouble. They played from in front for the majority of the first half, but the tide has definitely turned. Bumped off his course was Dwayne Cox. David Johnson whistled for the foul.
Fouls on the Cardinals, number 13, David Johnson.
And those type of fouls, you know, by David Johnson, you got to know better than that because he's more valuable for Chris Mack's team on the floor. The other day when they played against Evansville, didn't have a great game because he got into early foul trouble. And just fouls like that don't allow him to be on the floor, and they need him on the floor, especially with such a young group.
Williams, surrounded by Cardinals, just flips it off the backboard. Strong rebound, loose, cleared by Slazinski. And Withers was alone behind the defense. Cardinals just couldn't find him. Here comes Gambrell the other way. Panther offense has gone bust. Good crossover. Gambrell. Roberts, the up and under, no. And another foul. That is the 6th foul on Prairie View A&M as we're just really getting underway here in the second half. Dre Davis, freshman, showing off his long-distance shooting stroke. Back in a moment.
As Coach K's Duke Blue Devils hit the court to take on Bellarmine. ACC action tips off Friday at 7 Eastern on Fox Sports South. Presented by your local Ford dealer.
Welcome back. KFC Yum Center. The edict is only 15% of this building is allowed to be filled. And that's the number we're at, about 3,000 fans, socially distanced. And that's the way we're going to do it for the time being. It is nice to at least have basketball being played and at least have some people being able to enjoy it live and in person.
And I'd say as a player, you know, obviously you understand that there's a big change with 2020. But just to have some fans, I think that it makes a big difference. The other night I did a game over at Georgia Tech, and I think that they struggled to have 100. And, you know, they took an L to Georgia State and Mercer, both at home. So as a player, I think that it helps with the psyche to be able to have some fans in the background cheering for you as you're playing, especially when trying to make a comeback.
15:26 remaining in our second half. Third meeting ever between Prairie View A&M and Louisville. Met back in 1990, 2005, and now 2020. Only in seasons divisible by 5, clearly. That's the thought process. Carlik Jones streaks across half court. Davis back to Jones. Inside look is a thing of beauty. J.J. Traynor, who can fly, throws it home with two hands.
Nice dime from Johnson to Traynor. This is the second time that Prairie View came in, tried to trap, and then Louisville doing a good job of making them pay. Again, if a team's going to trap, you got to make them pay, and you got to be super aggressive. That last time, Louisville being able to get one to the rim.
Fate Williams called for that travel. J.J. Traynor's a guy we haven't seen as much of as maybe we would have expected. He's been dealing with foul trouble. He's got 3 of them, but he can really bounce. He's going to be fun to watch during his Louisville career.
He's long and he plays big. When you see the times when he's around the rim, he uses his length real well. A lot of times you got to teach young big men not to bring the ball down low, but he does a good job of keeping it up high, especially around the rim.
Jalen Withers still hasn't missed a shot. He's 7 for 7 from the field. How about a 3-ball? That's his first clink. Withers is now 7 for 8. Beautiful dime. Beautiful dime. Withers finds Briscoe.
Nice pass by Fate Williams. You saw Carlik Jones come over trying to draw the charge. Williams, you see right now, being able to have good ball control, body control, and get the ball over to Cox.
So Dwayne Cox, chance for a 3-point play. Panthers down by 15.
I think if you're Prairie View, you know, you want to get into this 15-point Louisville lead. You're not going to hit it with home runs. You've got to get some stops, and one of the things that they did well in the first half is be able to be really active and get some deflections. Louisville doing a much better job at the end of the first half and the beginning of the second of running their offense and being able to break them down and make the extra pass.
Strong, confident dribble. David Johnson now backs it out. Offensive rebound, stick back. There's that man again. Jalen Withers, his 8th field goal.
And how much have we seen Jalen Withers? I mean, he's been able to go outside, put the ball on the floor, knock down the 3, and that last time going to the offensive glass. I mean, the sky's the limit on this guy's potential.
All of a sudden, when Chris Mack was talking to a young player and said, hey, we're going to sit you down and work with you, he's got something to point to. Say, we did it with Jalen Withers, and look what a good freshman start he is having because he took time to develop a year ago. Great example of what you can become if you give some work at it. This ball picked up, another basket scored by the Panthers. It's Gerarda Briscoe.
Prairie View still fighting there.
Spin by Johnson, pass picked off. Nice fast break. Juwan Daniels.
On one end, you saw David Johnson doing too much with the ball. Again, Louisville, they're being able to be successful offensively. You let that ball go east to west. Again, here comes Prairie View. We talked about ways for them to get back is get some turnovers. 2 quick back-to-back buckets.
And a foul over in the corner. And that's a significant foul. That's the 7th team foul for Prairie View A&M. That means we're going to have bonus free throws for the remainder of the game for Louisville.
You know, you've seen them double on the post. I thought they would. But going back to Prairie View, and how about the defense from them? And you see coming up with the steal and then the finish on the other end. It's one of the ways that they're able to get back into this game. But go back to the play where you fouled David Johnson. They had committed to doubling on the post, but he was outside the post. Not sure if you want to double all the way out there because he didn't really have that much of an advantage.
And for the Cardinals, number 22, Aiden Gahan, replacing number 12.
Gahan back into the game, replacing J.J. Traynor. Maybe Traynor being protected a bit. He does have those 3 personal fouls. Second free throw coming for Johnson.
Johnson's another one of those guys, I think, as the season progresses and he takes on more of an ownership of being a leader as a sophomore. You're going to see him do big things because at 6'5", he can defend inside and out. He's got a great ability to make shots.
All right, here comes the Panthers. George Joseph hits the 3-pointer. That's his first 3-pointer of the ball game. Junior from Fort Lauderdale.
Prairie View picking up their offense again. Key for them is to continue to get some stops because it seems like Louisville's got a nice little rhythm going on offense.
Now Withers getting the benefit of the doubt. I thought he lost on the way up, but they call a foul, and he'll go to the free throw line.
Number 22, Juwan Daniels, that's his 3rd 8th foul. At the line for the Cardinals, number 24, Withers.
Again, talking about Withers, I mean, how about his skill set? You see him at 6'8", knocking down the 3. He's a guy that can put the ball on the floor comfortably against guards and finish around the rim.
They're all like that at Cleveland Heights. Free throw here gives them a 20-point ball game. Lead back up to 13 for the locals. Gamble's been quiet here in the second half. He was the story offensively for Prairie View A&M in the first half. He's made it onto the scouting report for Louisville. Guarded him like a hawk. Here's Gamble on the other side. And a shot is blocked. Wow, what a defensive play by Johnson. But it stays with Prairie View A&M, and they cash it in. George Joseph, where you been? He's all of a sudden found the offensive range.
Great defense by David Johnson, but then also Prairie View not giving up on the play, realizing that they still got their deflection coming with a basket.
Jones from the elbow. Wow, big time move. I was this kid at Radford last year. He has got game.
Well, the thing is, he came off the pick and roll, was able to freeze the defender with a little bit of an in and out dribble to be able to get that jump shot. All he needed just a little daylight to freeze him and get that shot up.
Big South Player of the Year last year, Carly Jones. 25-5. Only player in the country to notch those thresholds. Beautiful save. Louisville's got the basketball in the lead, up by 13. Jones leading the break. Gahan is fouled, and the Irishman will go to the free throw line. We've got a timeout on the floor. Carly Jones.
Carly Jones being able to come off of it. You see him give a little bit of a hesitation. Louisville doing big things, stretching out that lead to 13.
Just information.
Nashville Predators Top Moments airs all month on Fox Sports South.
Well, if Louisville fans didn't know about Jalen Withers before tonight, they know about him now. He's got 20 points next to his name.
And one of the things about it is that he's been in constant motion. If you're going to play, you got to be ready. You see that he's been around the rim, constant movement, being able to finish big around the rim. Again, guard-like skills, but then crashing the rebounds. He's been super active in the first half and picked it up in the second half. A big night for him, and I think that if you're Chris Mack, you have to love the energy. See 20 points, efficient, 8 for 9, and 6 boards.
Second year in the program, first year playing. He was asked to sit out last year just because the numbers weren't in his favor. His body type wasn't what Chris Mack would have liked for ACC play. So he put in the time in the weight room, and obviously it has paid off. 13-point game, 10 minutes, 42 seconds remaining in our second half.
And going back to Chris Mack, I mean, for him, he's going to emphasize that you play hard. And I think that for Jalen Withers is that earlier on, he had a little bit too much chill in his game. And then he and Chris Mack had a conversation. He let him know that, hey, if you're going to play, I'm going to give you an opportunity, but I need you to rev it up. You've seen that in the first and second half, is that he's been playing at a high level for the entire game.
Gahan hits the free throw, makes the lead 14. So Withers is going to sit for a bit. Quinn Slazinski comes back into the game, replacing Gahan. First game Louisville playing without Samuel Williamson. Hurt his toe in the win against Seton Hall 2 nights ago. Williams with the left hand. Too strong. Rebounded Slazinski. Davis finds Johnson. Lost it on the way up, but he was fouled.
Trey Davis proving that he's one of those guys out in transition and handle the ball. And then Louisville's going to pick their spots. You know, in these first 2 games, haven't had a ton of fast break points. But as you see tonight, they've been taking advantage of being able to get the defensive rebound and get out and about. And they've got guys, and again, in Chris Mack's system, you have to be a willing passer. And you see that last time, Trey Davis passing it off and sharing the wealth with Johnson.
Louisville last year, of course, finishing in a tie for second place in the ACC during the regular season. Tied with Duke and Virginia, trailing only Florida State, the regular season champs. Joseph, maybe a little bit out of control in the lane, but he didn't get banged for it. He draws the contact and will go to the free throw line.
Jones's first team at the line for the Panthers, number 23, Joseph. He'll shoot 2.
Jure Joseph at the line shooting a pair. And that was always amazing to me. You spent 4 years playing in the ACC at Georgia Tech. You're a pro, all places across the universe for many years. How many times did your shoe fall off when you were playing ball?
You know, actually, I did have a couple of times.
Really?
I think, but you know what? I think that a lot of the younger guys now is that they barely tie those shoes up, man. And I've seen on multiple occasions where guys' shoes are coming off, and you know, maybe that's part of your drip, your basketball drip, is making sure that you don't tie them too tight. Now, I have faked a lot of guys out of it.
Oh, yes, you did, Brian Oliver. 15-point game. Louisville's got the basketball, trying to go to 3-0 in the young season. Contact. Davis to the line.
And when you see David Johnson when he has the ball, I mean, when Carlik Jones goes to the bench and he becomes a playmaker. Great read. He allowed the play to unfold. He could have gone to Withers or Davis. He allowed the defense to play it, and that play developed. Nice little drop off to Davis.
Got to really like some of these players, young players for Louisville and recent additions to the program. It just shows you what Chris Mack can work with, too. You're obviously going to always have players in the Louisville area. This is a basketball town, no doubt about it, and great basketball players come out of the city of Louisville. Chris Mack can also recruit Cincinnati, not too far away. Of course, he brought in Carlik Jones from Radford, but Carlik Jones originally from Cincinnati. Indianapolis, just up the road on 65. That's where Dre Davis is from. Of course, great basketball players in Indianapolis. This is one of the reasons why Louisville, for many, many years, has won a ton of ball games and multiple national championships. There's players right here.
And one of the things we'll get into a little bit later is the pedigree that they have here at Louisville. Amount of guys that go on to play professionally, and then they have a lot of history here. And so this is one of those programs where you want to come to play because you see that you're going to play in the ACC. They have a ton of success, and you got a guy in Chris Mack that they develop their players as well.
And I think the fact that Donovan Mitchell has just blown up as an NBA player, that's always going to have cachet with the younger players. Because talk about a guy with drip. Talk about a guy who plays with attitude. He's a guy that a lot of young kids want to emulate. Of course, he figured it out here at Louisville as a player.
And he's one of those guys just recently got that bag, too.
They backed up the Brinks truck for him. 9.5 to play. Hard to believe that Louisville was not in control of this one back in the first half. They played from behind the majority of the first half. Gambrell's been a good shooter today. Finds another three-pointer. He has been the best offensive threat. Jeremiah Gambrell, behind the arc, has been as good as it gets. He has now made 5 three-pointers. We'll take a timeout. Back with more basketball here in Louisville. I mean, Montrezl Harrell, no longer a Clipper, moved across town. He's going to be a Laker now.
Yeah, I mean, we just talked about Donovan Mitchell getting that bag, signing up, you know, and just imagine the talent. You know, if you look at this roster now and you see who's most likely the next guy up, you know, probably you think Carlik Jones, but I'm going to go with David Johnson. And the reason I say that, 6'5", create his own shot, you know, and he can play the point. I like that if he continues to develop under Chris Mack's system, he can be one of those guys that can, you know, hear his name called in the draft.
I'm not going to go there, but when you think David Johnson, that body, and the way he kind of runs around the floor and the athleticism, there is a little bit of Donovan Mitchell into what he's all about.
If he had Donovan Mitchell's ups, though, I mean, I don't think he'd still be here. But you know, I get it. He's got a great skill set. And, again, I think that Chris Mack's team, when Carlik Jones goes out, he goes to the point. I think that's probably where he's at his best.
Lead of 17 for Louisville. Johnson stops, starts, swings a pass over to Davis. Can't hit 2 in a row. Slazinski. And his foot was on the end line when he grabbed that rebound. Seven minutes to play. Louisville's next game is going to be on Tuesday against Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. Roberts. And a foul. Briscoe is raked across the arm.
And that's one of those plays by Dre Davis. You know, Chris Mack, you don't want to play really good defense for the 24 seconds and then you bail them out with a silly reach. Louisville done a good job in the first part of the defense, and then you don't want to bail a guy out and send him to the line by reaching at the end.
What? I'm Dolo. Piping.
Offensive rebound by Williams. And on the sideline was Dwayne Cox when he tried to bat it in court of play. And so it's Louisville ball.
Back in the game for the Cardinals, number 12, J.J. Traynor.
J.J. Traynor comes back on the floor. He replaces Slazinski.
Yeah, I think Chris Mack wasn't too happy with Slazinski not boxing out and allowing Fate Williams to get his hand on that. I think he's going to put him on the bench and let him think about it a little bit.
Left-handed pass. Jones finds Johnson. Look at that curl pass. One side of the floor to the other, and Jones capitalizes with a triple.
So that play started obviously with Khalid Jones being able to go. And you talked about the left-hand pass, and then again, David Johnson returns a favor by going in and making another one, skip pass on the baseline. These two guys have the opportunity to be probably the most dynamic backcourt in the league. There's still a lot of time that's got to go into them progressing.
That was a beautiful pass by David Johnson. Only angle he had was right along the baseline and somehow was able to curve it over to Carlake Jones. It was like Milt Wagner finding Lancaster Gordon over in the corner. Stop.
I remember playing in my early days overseas. I played against Milt Wagner when I was over in Israel, and obviously Milt's older than me, but I had to try to get past a little bit of a fandom because he played on the great Louisville teams. And so I remember I was playing right out of Jerusalem. And the first half, I had to get past with a little bit of a man crush because Milt was giving it to me. And so I came out in the second half, decided, put that to bed. I got to go ahead and give him the business. But I always remember him being part of the great Louisville team. So when you brought that name up, kind of took me back a couple of years.
Milt Ice-T Wagner. And he was part of that express line between Camden, New Jersey and Louisville. It was Milt Wagner, that was Billy Thompson, and then another ballyhoo prospect, McDonald's All-American guy by the name of Kevin Walls. Didn't last very long here in Louisville, but he was a huge deal when he first made it here for Denny Crum.
I remember him, man. There was a lot of hoopla around him, and with all he was a guy that could score it, was super athletic, but he didn't pan out.
One more for Johnson.
There's another guy we didn't talk about. You remember Dewan Wagner came through the program. I think that he's got.
Well, Wagner played at Memphis.
I'm sorry,
he was the son of Milt. Yeah,
right.
He was one of the one and dones at Memphis. I want to say when Calipari was down there. Under 6 minutes to play. Sunday evening basketball here in Louisville, Kentucky. Third all-time meeting, Prairie View A&M and Louisville Cardinals. Henry. Loose ball over to Gambrell. One-handed rebound. Withers continues to accumulate numbers. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays off. A lot of it's going to depend on the health of Chris Mack's players, but there's a lot to like with his roster. The youth, the energy, the speed in which they can play, the upside, the athleticism. But what do they have when they have a full, healthy roster with Williamson and Williams and Minland and Nickelberry all available to play?
Well, and one of the good things about, if there's any positive, some of your main guys being injured, is that you give the other guys an opportunity to be able to play. With the schedule that they're going to play in the top-notch teams, it allows these guys to be able to get some experience early.
The Irish Hulk, Aiden Igehan. 1 out of 2. Born in Dublin, Ireland. Now he'll leave, replaced by Gabe Wisnitzer. Wisnitzer had one turn back in the first half. Another one of the freshmen, 6'11", out of South Carolina. And Wisnitzer is called for being over-aggressive. game has been called a little bit tighter in the second half than it was in the first.
Yeah, I was looking at that foul that they called him witness. So it seemed like that he hedged on that play. Not sure where I saw the over-aggressiveness on that foul, but I guess that's one of the reasons I'm sitting up here with you and I don't have one of those official shirts down there.
1-1. Jeremiah Gambrell. Last rebound by Withers was his 9th. That means he's 1 away from a double-double. Shot clock is down to 3. Offensive rebound. Look at the strength in the follow. With the left hand, David Johnson.
That's one of the things about David Johnson's game at 6'5". You know, going to the offensive glass, he's athletic and strong enough to be able to go against most guards and dominate down there.
4 minutes to play. Catch and shoot, Gambrell. Man, he has been the truth.
And he's been impressive today. I mean, on many occasions, if you give him just a little bit of daylight, he's been able to knock it down.
Transferred from Western Kentucky. He has been the brightest of bright spots for Prairie View A&M. Just a sophomore. He's going to light it up this year in the SWAC. A lot of dribbling for Jones, and it results in a foul call. So free throws for Carly Jones when we come back. Time out on the floor. Cardinals leading the Panthers 77-58.
Your wallet and the environment can be used in new or used vehicles. Available at zmax.com or your local auto parts store.
ACC Men's Basketball is brought to you by CPI Security. Home security that protects what matters most. 77-58. Louisville on top of Prairie View A&M. 3:29 remaining in our second half. Take a look at our CPI Security protecting the paint.
And there we've talked about Louisville's offense, but it's been their defense that's allowed them to be able to get back into the game and command a lead. And one of the things that they've done is that they've done a good job of being able to close down the paint, weak side help. We saw that last time, Quinn Slazinski. Again, we talked about Chris Mack talking about how he wants his guys to play hard. That defense was able to turn it around and open up opportunities for them on offensive end.
One of the captains, Carly Jones, at the free throw line. Double bonus. First free throw, an all-around good shot. Jones now 14 points, 6 of 9 shooting. He's made 1 3. He's got 3 rebounds and 4 assists. He's been a good floor general. Under his watchful eye, Louisville as a team is shooting 60% from the field. Let's see if Gambrell fires one up. He has made 6 3-pointers, 6 out of 11. 20-point night for Jeremiah Gambrell. Offensive foul called on Darrell Roberts.
Yeah, I thought Roberts was a little out of control. Anytime you go to the basket and you overcommit and you're not going straight up, you put yourself in a position where that offensive foul can be called. Great rotation by Dre Davis.
And that last foul on Darrell Roberts, his 5th. That means he has fouled out. He is done with 8 points. He's the second player in the game to foul out. A couple of minutes ago, J.J. Traynor fouled out for Louisville. Kind of an awkward game for J.J. Traynor. Never really got anything going. And 5 fouls ended his night early. Withers with the ball, entry pass. Withers looking for 1 more rebound, and that'll give him a double-double. And a whistle. More free throws coming for Louisville.
How about the patience for David Johnson? He didn't panic when he had the double team. Just being able to split that and then find Dre Davis. Most guys, when they get trapped like that, especially if you're a guard, the tendency is to want to dribble back and make a cross-court pass. That last time, Johnson doing a good job being able to keep his composure and drop it off to Davis and give him an opportunity to go to the line for 2.
Davis, one of 4 Cardinals in double figures, led by Withers with 20, Jones 15, Johnson 17, and now Davis with 12.
And he's had a solid game. You know, we talked about the fact that with his build, the fact that he's been able to knock down some three. How about that Bill Murray in the house?
Oh, my goodness. Who knew? It's pretty cool.
One of my all-time favorite movies is Caddyshack.
Bill's son is an assistant with the program. Thus the connection.
How many dad jokes do you think he hits his son with? I'm sure he's got a million of them.
He's in the hole. There's his son. Told.
Luke Murray.
In the game, number 14, Briscoe.
In the house.
I don't think the hard stuff's going to come down for quite some time now. 2:35 remaining here in our second half. So when you only have 3,000 people in the stands, it's kind of easy to spot the celebrities.
I'm just going to go back. Do you think that Luke still thinks Dad is funny?
Yes, no doubt about it. One of the funniest human beings ever is Bill Murray. He's got an all-around sense of humor. No one thinks he's not funny.
You know, I just wonder about that because, you know, normally I'm a riot. But, you know, in my household, my daughter, she's 11. She's just kind of looking at me and rolling her eyes.
Someone told me a couple of weeks back that I'm making dad jokes cool again. I took that as a compliment. Louisville still playing with their starters in the game, and David Johnson getting his.
And see, that's one of those things that I think that David Johnson is going to create a lot of problems for ACC guards. His ability to be able to get on the post. You know, he didn't have to bully him. He just created a nice little opportunity to be able to get a jumper right over his left shoulder.
Tate Williams running one-hander, tapped up and through by Briscoe. One of the things we're still waiting on, though, for Louisville is one more rebound for Jalen Withers. He's got 9 rebounds. Needs one more to go with his 20 points and give him his first collegiate double-double. Gahan comes in. He replaces Stray Davis. Probably Davis done for the night. Carly Jones has been taken out for Louisville. His evening is done. Cardinals limited with just 8 scholarship players. They're not going to go too deep into the bench to finish this one out. They're just going to play it with rotational guys. With Nitzer. Draws contact. Gabe was Nitzer. Freshman to the line.
At the line for the Cardinals, number 23, Gabe Wisnitzer.
What's going to be the big story this year for Chris Mack's team? What's the thing that if they do it really well, they've got a chance to be a good team, and if they don't do it, they're just an average team?
Well, I think one of the things, obviously, is that, you know, how far can you go in the NCAA tournament? And you look at the guys in a perfect world that they get all the guys that are back. You know, could I see this as a Final Four team? I think there are a lot of things as far as how you get seeded. You know, and you look at even in this league with Duke, Carolina improving, and also Virginia. There's still a lot of uncertainties in how quick can these young guys mature.
Brad Colbert comes into the game for the first time. He wears number 5, number 3. Hogan Orbach comes in the game as well. Both are walk-ons. We've had a lot of fouls and free throws here in the second half. So Withers, his night is done. Well, the coaching staff knew he had 9 rebounds. They keep him out there. Give him one more board. How about a double-double for my guy? Best to come out of Cleveland Heights High School in the last decade.
I thought his play earlier on in the first half is what got them back into it. We talked about Khalid Jones sacrificing his offense to get everyone started. And I think that he was one of the beneficiaries early in the first half of being able to get some easy looks around the basket, knocked down some threes, and I thought that's what really opened it up and allowed Louisville to get back in this game.
A team like Louisville, obviously a power in the ACC, taking on a team from the SWAC. One of the advantages they're always going to have are guys like Jalen Withers. Those type of guys you don't find in the SWAC. 6'8" with a good body, who can run, who can shoot it from outside, who can board. That's just a luxury. And so when he played well, that was a huge difference between what Louisville can do and the top end for the Panthers.
But I also think as a young guy, you need someone to kind of get you going. And I think that Carly Jones, finding him and put him in a position where he was able to get some kind of offensive rhythm. Again, when you see the ball go through the basket,
hey! Hogan Orba, his first bucket.
And how about the jubilation from the players on the bench? It's always good when you see those guys that don't get a lot of tick to be able to knock down that shot.
Sophomore from Zionsville, Indiana. That was a true stroke. It may have been the last shot we'll see of the game for Louisville. Shot clock is off. All they need to do is cross the timeline, and this one will be over. So the Louisville Cardinals moved to 3-0 on the year. They defeated Evansville, Seton Hall, and now Prairie View A&M. Next up in 2 days' time, they will take on Western Kentucky.
Good showing by Louisville. I thought that they played well, able to climb back. This is a good win for them. Get their young guys and offer an opportunity to get some good experience. Big overall game from Louisville Cardinals.
The Cardinals had to play from behind for the majority of the first half, but the second half they owned, and they win by 22 points. Your final score, 86-64. Cardinals have still never lost against Prairie View A&M. They're 3-0 all time, and the streak of November victories at home continues. Louisville has now won 58 straight November home games. That is pretty cool. Sure hope you enjoyed it. Sunday evening basketball from the KFC Yum Center here in downtown Louisville, Kentucky. Final score one final time. Louisville 86, Prairie View A&M 64. For Brian Oliver, I'm Eric Collins. Thanks so long and enjoy the rest of your weekend.